Ayukui, Neknau Ernie Albers, Nepichawaswell, Walt Lara, SC Awak Nick Mercado, SC Awak Old Man Albers. Nakuchawaswell, Cali Lara, SC Awak Dolores Mercado, SC Awak Mimi Markison. Chapek, SC T-Bar, SC Hupa, Newumachuk. Hello, my name is Ernie Albers. I introduced who my grandparents are and some of the places I come from. I come from a very long line of storytellers. My grandfather, my mother, my cousins, I've heard them all tell stories. I love traditional storytelling. They always come with lessons at the end. And these lessons, they remind us of who we are and how to take care of each other, how to take care of this place, and how to take care of ourselves. This story, it happens long time ago. It's a story about Hayamoose. And I always tell people, you know who Hayamoose is, even if you don't think you know who Hayamoose is, you know. I'll tell people, you might be driving down the road and you might think, whoo, somebody hit a Hayamoose. Anybody know what it is? It's skunk. Skunk. Did you know that Hayamoose, he didn't always look the way he looks? And he didn't always do what you think he does. This is his story. But this is also Wage's story. Wage, for Yurok people, that's those spiritual people. They were here before us. They're the ones that taught us our ceremonies, gave us our language. That's those spiritual people. What I've been told is that they're little people. And that when we go out to high dance, to jump dance and deerskin dance, we don't go back to those spots for 10 days because that's when those Wages, that's when they're doing their ceremony. This is also about them. We don't see them very often. I like to think of these spiritual people like grandparents, as in the fact that they got a lot of wisdom, but they also like to pick on people. My grandparents, they kind of like to pick on me and they think it's hilarious. So that's why I like to think of these Wages like grandparents. They got good personalities and they got a lot of wisdom. This is also about them. So Hayamoose, he used to be all black, no white, all black. And then at the end of Hayamoose's day, he would have to walk along the trail and it would be getting dark. And these Wages, they would gather all around him. And they'd whisper, Hayamoose. Hayamoose, where are you going? Hayamoose, I can see you. And Hayamoose would get really scared and he'd run home. And those Wages thought that was funny. They'd say, run, Hayamoose, get out of here. Well, this happened quite often. Hayamoose would be walking down the trail. It'd be getting dark. Those Wages would whisper, and he'd run. Well, after a while, Hayamoose thought, I'm not going to be scared anymore. If that happens, I'm just going to sing really loud, and hopefully that'll make the voices go away. So that night, at the end of his day, Hayamoose was walking down the trail. It was getting dark. Those Wages, they gathered all around him. They whispered, they said, Hayamoose, Hayamoose, I can see you. Hayamoose, where are you going? And so he sang. This is what he sang. Ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, 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 oh, ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, ha-na-no-one, hey-yo, 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 and he made it home. And those Wages say, oh, that's a good song. That's a good song, Hayamoose. Go ahead. Go ahead. Well, this happened a few times. At the end of the day, Hayamoose would be walking down the trail. It'd be getting dark. Those Wages started to whisper. Hayamoose would sing, and they'd let him go. Well, after a while, these Wages, they got together. They started talking. And they decided, you know what, Hayamoose? That's a good song. But we've heard that song lots of times now. It was better to kind of get you. So they made a plan. And that night, at the end of the day, Hayamoose was walking down the trail. It was getting awfully dark. And it was really quiet. And those Wages, they started to whisper. They were saying, Hayamoose. Hayamoose! And they scared him. And they scared him so bad that a white line appeared from his head all the way down his tail. And they scared him so bad, he farted all over him. And these Wages were saying, oh, I stink, you stink, let's get out of here. They took off. Well, that's the end of the story. But today, if you see Hayamoose, he's no longer all black. He's got that white line from his head all the way down his tail. And if you scare Hayamoose, you might be in for a stinky surprise. And these Wages, we don't see them very often because they think they still stink. I love this story. I love it. It's about to be funny, right? It's about being silly. It's about being goofy. And I always tell people that we need to be silly. We need to be goofy. We need to be able to have fun. In the very beginning, I introduced myself in a Yurok way. I always tell people that I identify myself as a Yurok person, a world renewal person. And as that, we help hold the balance in the world with that jump dance and that deerskin dance, right? Boom. We hold that balance. This story is like that balance, right? We need to have serious time. We need to be intentional and mindful, deliberate. We need to come from a place of community, respect, vulnerability. That's hard, heavy stuff. But that we also need to be able to be silly, have fun, laugh, take the time. That makes us full balanced people, full balanced individuals. And usually I'll tell people, kids, I'll say, it's like school. Because sometimes we need to sit at the desk, we need to read, we need to write, we need to do our math, do our homework. But then when we go out to recess, that's when we got to run, we got to play, we got to be silly. We need both those things. Because without them, if we play too much, we're not going to be able to be as serious as we need to be. And if we're too serious, then we're going to miss out on all the fun stuff too. But we need both of them. This one's about balance.